Hello ladies and gentlemen and others watching this video. Today I, Abdullah Sabti, will be talking about codes and conventions that make up a certain genre. Now, some of you may ask, what are codes and conventions? Well, let's just get straight to the point. Now initially let's start off with defining conventions. Conventions are a set of rules that a reader wants a story of a certain genre to live up to, creating expectations. A reader should be able to analyze these certain codes and conventions and relate them back to a certain genre, which should be relatable to the work. Features and conventions of the detective genre. By no doubt, there are several key elements that need to be followed to make a good detective fictional. The seemingly perfect crime, a crime that is proven unidentified and unsolvable by the ordinary federal agency. The criminal usually has no record of previous acts. He is one of no relation with the outside world. The term usually defines the criminal's expertise and experience in criminal activity, making him of a worthy opponent. The wrongly accused person at whom evidence points towards. Usually, this is a person whose background can relate back to the clues and patterns provided in the crime scene. This is a misdemeanor caused by amateur consultants and detectives in desperation of solving a crime, creating an excuse and faking a solution. The grouping of dim-wit police officers on the detective's shoulders that are of no help to the detective but an obstacle. This is implemented by the director or writer of a work to disturb and influence the sleuth's train of thoughts and challenge his ability to link clues into a solution. The great power of observation and superior mind of the detective. The detective's astonishing way of exposing the culprit and his accomplice by linking the bits of evidence together. This evidence is supposed to be irrelevant to the eyes of the audience, but should also be received fairly with the sleuth. The questioning of the reader, how and why, also known as the whodunit and how done it. The client showing up to hire the detective in the beginning of every work, offering an abundant amount of money to lure the detective into accepting the offer. Usually, the use of a female actor that takes advantage of her appearance can influence the main course of events of a certain work and can disturb the thoughts of the main character, the detective. This female actor is hired by the perpetrator and is threatened to do her job. Later on in the work, she revolts against the perpetrator alongside the sleuth, exposing him, making him an easier target. The slow build-up of tension throughout the work. This is portrayed through the use of certain camera techniques, angles, and events present in numerous scenes. The mind of the perpetrator should be the intellectual equal to the mind of the detective, making him a worthy opponent. The clues that the detective uses to analyze his thoughts and opinions throughout the work should at one point be visible to the audience. Now, the solution also needs to be coherent and logical when the detective comes to explain it. In the end of a work, the audience should logically see and analyze how all the pieces of evidence come together and add up. The fun of reading or watching a detective work comes from a mental contest between the audience and the detective on solving the crime. The reader should be able to assume that the perpetrator is usually one of the main characters in the work. Now, earlier on this video, you might have heard me talk about and define codes and conventions and features of a certain genre, detective genre. Now, let's get to define codes. Codes are the director's use of certain camera techniques and angles to convey a specific thought or emotion. In a detective subgenre, directors make creative use of low-key lighting, bleak urban locations, black and white cinematography, washed-out colors, and shadows to create a sense of moral decay and confinement. Musical scores are genuinely dark and underscore danger. The following information and examples will be provided individually, as real scenes from the movie clip will be provided as evidence. Example of detective conventions and film techniques used in detective films and stories. The selected film, Sherlock Holmes 2009. Initially, the main character Sherlock Holmes is depicted as a genius with eccentricities. He owns an extremely observant eye that catches even the minutest of clues. making him a rational and intelligent detective.
I'm terribly sorry to inconvenience you, sir. But I'm going to have to put this on you.
Mr. Holmes, apologies for summoning you like this. I'm sure it's quite a mystery as to where you are and who I am.
As to where I am, I was admittedly lost for a moment between Charing Cross and Holborn, but I was saved by the bread shop on Saffron Hill, the only baker to use a certain French glaze on their loaves, a Brittany sage. After that, the carriage forked left and right, a telltale bump of the Fleet conduit. And as to who you are, that took every ounce of my not inconsiderable experience. The letters on your desk are addressed to Sir Thomas Rotherham, Lord Chief Justice, that'd be your official title. Who you really are is, of course, another matter entirely. Judging by the sacred ox on your ring, you're also the secret head of the Temple of the Four Orders, in whose headquarters we now sit, on the northwest corner of St. James Square, I think. As to the mystery, the only mystery is why you bothered to blindfold me at all.
Yes, well, standard procedure, I suppose.
Dr. Watson. Watson plays the role of a detective's companion, usually less intelligent than the detective. He also aids Sherlock in his forensic work, such as analyzing blood and fingerprints.
It looks like he was attempting to combine some kind of sorcery and scientific formula.
More importantly, let's see what he was trying to dispose of. Potassium magnesium.
Sulfuric acid.
It looks like the iron right out of the ink, as long as it's not too burnt. Peculiar. Hydrated rhododendron.
Holmes. Look at the crest. Reardon was working with Blackwood.
Of course he was. Question is, to what end? Whatever he was working on, he clearly succeeded.
How so?
Otherwise, he'd still be alive.
Which is why Miss Adler is so desperate to find him.
Watson plays the idiot friend that needs everything explained to him by Sherlock, thus aiding the viewer's understanding of the plot's intricacies. The death and resurrection of Sherlock's arch-nemesis, Professor Moriarty, known as Lord Blackwood in the film clip.
It's Lord Blackwood, sir. Well, it appears he's come back from the grave, sir.
Most engaging.
After his execution, resuming his killing spree across London creates a subgenre mystery. Sherlock's selection to certain items, such as the rat's tail, bones and feathers at crime scenes, are clues to the solution. The viewer can enjoy these puzzling clues, which is essential to the build-up of tension.
Look at this.
Mr. Holmes?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today on my exploration about this exciting genre, the detective genre. See you next time.